Hello and welcome everyone to the Evolve Self Healing Podcast. I am your host, Tanya Stevens, mind body healing guide, spiritual mentor, creator of the Evolve Self Healing Method. And today I am so excited to have with us again. We did this last year. So,
We did.
yay, this is so awesome. Alice Smith, and we are going to be discussing the Astrological Invitations of 2026, which is I feel like I say this every year, Alice, but it is a big year. It is a big ass year. Yes, yes, it is. Okay, so for those that are new to Alice, she's an astrologer, writer, and threshold guide who works with women in seasons of profound change. Yes, please. Through her practice, Alice Astrology, she offers high touch, non predictive astrology sessions that center clarity, timing, and agency rather than fate or prescription. Blending classical technique with a heart-led approach, Alice helps clients understand the deeper patterns in their birth charts, the evolutionary invitations of their current transits, and the deeper patterns, and the deeper, I got a glare on my computer, deeper patterns in their birth charts, evolutionary invitations of their current transits, and the stories their lives are asking them to live now. Her work is especially devoted to those standing at the crossroads: career shifts, identity transitions, grief, relationship reorientation, everyone who senses that something is ending, something else is beginning, and they want language and companionship for that in between. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Alice, so happy to have you here. And I know that you were going through a transition. We were talking about that before we started the recording. And so many of us
Yeah.
in like last year, this year, many of us are finding ourselves at this huge crossroads, leap of faith, whatever you want to call it.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. Where would you like to
So,
start today?
so let's talk about the themes and energies of 2026. You
Yes,
know,
please.
what sort of invitations that they're that this year is bringing, and you know, how this year is really inviting us to rethink a lot of the stories that we tell about ourselves and how we orient ourselves. 2026 is a major year because it's the culmination of a lot of what we have been working towards. So, if 2025 was a historic year, by the way. We talked last year about how all the major outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they all change signs in the same year. That's unprecedented. It's not going to happen even in our grandchildren's lifetime. We're never going to have a year like that again for, I would say, I would hazard even for the next 500 years. So whenever that happens, it's huge. They
I'm getting
get,
the chills. I knew that, but I kind of forgot it.
yeah. And there were big centuries long themes that were ending. A 200-year Earth cycle was changing, we're shifting into air. Two major planets shifted into air signs. Two major planets also shifted into fire signs. This year, we're also moving into the year of the fire horse by Chinese astrology. So, huge shift from water and earth, much calmer, much more containing, much more building, much more tactile. It's not a um, mystery that capitalism came up during a big earth era, right? And now we're going into air and fire. Really, the big changes into air, intellect, thinking. Not surprising that right when it happened, ChatGPT was launched.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that.
Yep. And so we're going into the mind. And right now, we are really making that shift towards the intellectual, the technological. And I tell all of my elder millennial, like myself, and Gen X friends that the thing we particularly in our age group, need to make sure that we do, especially over the next 10 years, is keep up with the technology.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're old enough to be frustrated by it.
Mm-hmm.
And but we're young enough that we still have a lot of decades left to live. We still have a lot of life left in us. And so, you know how we joke about how, you know, that leap from radio and the television to where we are now already felt huge. And so our parents and our grandparents got to experience this huge shift that already felt like a lot in a few decades. It's going to compact even more for us.
I wonder what that's going to look
So
like. I'm like,
we have no idea. We
yeah.
have no idea. We have no
And,
idea.
and is it because
Pluto's gone.
is it the Aquarius? What is drawing that?
So the big one is Pluto in Aquarius.
Pluto
That's
and
going to set the
Aquarius.
tone until the early 2040s. And but it's being superpowered right now by last year, really last year and this year it's happening. It's taking its time happening. Gemini, Uranus going into Gemini.
Mm,
Those are both air signs.
right.
And Gemini is a very informational sign. It's very curious. It wants to know all the things. Uranus is a revolutionary energy. And so we have two heavy hitting transformative planets, both sitting in very techy, technological signs. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius, while Uranus was in Gemini, was during the mid late 1700s, the so-called Age of Revolution. It was when we fought the Revolutionary War. It was when France had their revolutions. And so there were also a lot of technological advances that had happened. Every time these planets seem to align with each other, we get leaps and jumps happening technologically. Vaccines were discovered. We
Right. So it's
big
not just communication. I'm glad that you brought up like the medical and
Yeah.
yeah.
But right now, all signs are pointing to especially communication because Gemini is such a communicative sign, you know. So with us, we are with our generation, um, if we don't actively try to keep up, we are in serious danger of becoming grandma needing help with the remote way sooner than grandma did,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
my advice for everybody isn't that you need to become a whiz, but at least maintain a level of competence and comfort with the new technology to where you can do basic troubleshooting on your own so that you can get on a helpline or talk to somebody. And you're not grandma asking, like, how do I turn it off? How do I turn it on? Just do what you need to do to be able to follow instructions to do basic troubleshooting. Let that be the bottom floor,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so huge shifts last
So
year.
technology is big, one of the big themes.
Huge, 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 big equity as well. A lot of the what we're seeing in the state of the world, it's not going away. It is a huge, huge theme because
Did you say equity or equality?
themes around equity and also concerns around humanitarianism, those are huge because, what happened the last time these two planets did this?
Yeah.
Revolutionary War, right? And so the pro is that we will continue, like, really on a global scale, the world is continuing to fight for equity and equality, for human rights. And so what's happening though is, I had mentioned everything's coming to a head this year. Last year, when all the planets kind of did their huge changing of the guard, it was like the loading of the gun. this year is when the gun's fired.
Got it. Which
Yeah,
makes sense with the fire horse.
exactly. And in addition to that, last year, the planet Jupiter, which really adds accelerant and expands, right? It was the lone like one in a water sign, in a non-fire or air sign. It was sitting in the water sign of Cancer. This year Jupiter joins the fire brigade, really, and goes into, or really the fire starters, and goes into Leo, which is a
When does
fire
it do that?
June.
June. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jupiter
So
goes into Leo.
in June. And so now all the major planets
Wow.
are in either fire or air. These two elements in traditional astrology, we say, are masculine elements, has nothing to do with sex or gender. It just really has to do with the direction of energy. And so if you think about it, even on just a normal physical level, air and fire get along. They feed each other.
Hmm.
A wind can really, really pick up and spread fire. Air also feeds fire, right? Heat also makes air move,
Mm.
right? So we kind of don't have brakes installed right now in this energy.
Yeah,
And then you
that's
have
kind
the
of
whole fire horse energy on top of that.
that feels exciting and like, ooh, a little scary.
And it is. And so what this means is also numerologically, 2026, if you add the digits of 2026 up, it adds up to 10. And the number 10 in the tarot aligns with the Wheel of Fortune card, which I have right here.
Oh, good. I was going to dig mine out. You
Yeah,
got
there you go. Wheel of
it.
Fortune card. And so, Wheel of Fortune years are years of movement, of things happening, because the wheel is turning. The wheel of
Mm.
fate is turning. If you think about the previous years, they've been very internal. Like COVID happened, 2020, you add those numbers up, it's a 4, it's an emperor year. We're learning our worth and our dignity. Then we move from the emperor card into um, the lover's card, I think. And
Mm.
that is when you are also, it's actually kind of internal as well, because those lovers years are really when you're figuring out your relationship to the world.
Mm.
Then we move to Hierophant year, and that would have been 2021, 2022. And that's when we're reorganizing our beliefs,
Mm.
right? And so we've been steadily moving. And last year was a very internal year, hermit year, where we're really figuring out who we are. Now we've got movement.
Mm.
Now is the year where all the stuff you have been working towards, that you have been building towards, if you've been feeling frustrated that things haven't been happening, it's happening. And how it's going to pan out, what direction it's going to go, really just depends on the type of seeds you've been planting
Mm.
up until now. So we're still in the intention phase,
Yeah.
right? But we're getting real, real close to the movement. And that's matching up astrologically to all of this very energetic energy,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
But well, it's moving from even the like the snake, right? We're talking about the fire horse, which is I think like February 16th, 17th,
Yeah.
depending on your time zone. And so the snake, right? Very internal, very,
Mhm.
getting in there and shedding
And
and
very yin
releasing.
kind of energy.
Yeah. And so this fire horse is definitely more
Yeah.
masculine and
And
momentum,
yep,
momentum.
because the horse already doesn't like to be controlled. The
Yeah.
horse already wants to move
Yeah.
and do its own thing. And then you add fire on top of it. And so it's to the point where in Japan in 1966, 60 years ago was the last time the fire horse year came, because every element animal combination takes 60 years to go through the whole
I
cycle.
did not know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
because that's why the 60th birthday is such a big birthday in Asian cultures, because you're finally seeing your zodiacal return. Yeah, because there's 12 animals and there's 5 elements, so 12 times 5 for every
Yeah.
one of them to get their turn is 60.
Wow.
So, back in 1966, the fire horse had such a reputation. for being fiery and difficult to control and opinionated, that birth rates dropped in Japan because they didn't want fire horse girls.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh,
they wanted, because Asian culture, they want a
yeah.
well-behaved girl. And there was a real fear that girls would have difficulty finding husbands if they
Because
found
they're
out
too
they were,
fiery.
because if they find, because matchmakers still want to know what
Wow.
they're still matching people by, at least in those times,
Yeah.
right? And so a fire horse girl would not be easy to marry off. So the birth rate actually dipped, and it was totally temporary. Went back up in 67.
Wow.
They avoided having daughters that year. So it tells you something. Now, a girl who knows her mind, knows what she wants to do, that's like hashtag goals now, right? And but yes, absolutely. We're adding to that energy now, that energy of change. So this is the year where things are going to happen, and we're also seeing this reflected in the astrology because the major transit that's happening this year is the Saturn Neptune conjunction, where
Mm.
Saturn and Neptune are, from our perspective on planet Earth, it looks like they've lined up
Saturn and Neptune. When is that happening?
in about February 22nd, around February 20th. So really close. But here's the thing, with transits this big, do not think about it as a discrete date.
Right, right, right.
They're
It's
so
more of
powerful.
a longer term energy. So it's
Yes.
happening around that date, but that energy is going to ripple.
It's actually been building up since last year because Saturn and Neptune are both such slow moving planets that they've done this little dance where they've gotten real close
Mm,
to where it's already started activating. This is just the culmination point. And they're also going to continue staying locked for a bit, but it happens every 36 years. And so it's rare. It also doesn't happen in the same sign every time. But
mm.
when Saturn and Neptune come together, we're being um, invited to scrap an old vision and come up with a new one, to revision. That's the big thing. And
Mm.
interestingly, this conjunction tends to affect Russia. It's really interesting because if you look historically, 1917 it happens, Bolshevik Revolution. Around 52 it happens, Stalin dies. Late 80s it happens, that's the year the Berlin Wall falls. And not the Berlin
Wow.
Wall, that's the year the Soviet Union fell. And so it's really interesting. I'm just like,
That
what's
is it. No, that is interesting.
right? What's going to
So,
happen in Russia this time?
what sign is it happening in?
So, this is really significant. I'm so glad you asked that because this time it's happening at 0 degrees Aries. We are at the vernal point, the spring equinox point. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. 0 degrees at the very beginning. This is not just asking us to revision. It is actually really wanting us to just start something new.
Yeah, start over.
It is such a
Clean slate.
powerful
Clean
point.
slate.
That 0 degrees Aries is such a powerful point because it is literally the Big Bang, the beginning. I actually have this conjunction happening on my son. I was born on the first day of Aries. So it's like right on me. And it's such a big deal. I actually asked some of
Wow.
my astrology mentors. I was like, "Hey, can you like look at this?" And they're just like, "Dang girl, tell us how it goes." And I'm
Well,
like, "You're supposed to tell me how it goes."
when is your birthday?
March 21st.
March 21st. Okay, I'm a March birthday too, but I'm Pisces.
Oh, what's your
So,
birthday?
March 8th.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, you're in deep Pisces.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're in deep Pisces. So with this conjunction, it's a big deal. And especially with all of this very idealistic energy already in the air, we already established Uranus and Pluto haven't been in these positions since the Revolutionary War when we were fighting for rights. And then
Here
now
we
we're
are
also
again.
seeing, yep, But let's also drop this very fiery, idealistic, let's dream a new dream kind of energy of the Saturn Neptune conjunction snack dab in the middle of all of that now. So this is huge. When Saturn and Neptune collide, it's like mundane reality and transcendental reality come together. Usually the two
I
are,
was going to say they're very opposite. They're very opposite. Saturn, at least from my understanding, is like the old man, like the
yeah,
like the rigid old man, like
yeah.
and like very patriarchal, and Neptune is like
Oh,
idealistic and new visions and dreams and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Saturn is very much, brush your teeth, floss, pay your
old and
taxes, go
new.
to
Yeah,
work,
yeah,
do what you should do.
yeah,
Neptune, what I like to say about Neptune is it's also reality, but it's the reality we can't see and quantify,
yes,
right? What we
yes. It's
just
the new. It's the one we're dreaming. It's the new
yeah,
reality that we're
yeah.
dreaming.
Everything we don't know, but that we know it's real, that it's somewhere out there. When they come together, they want to try to work together, which is how can we bring structure to the dream?
Mm,
How can we make the dream actually real?
mm,
And Neptune wants to bring inspiration and elevation and meaning to Saturn. And so for anybody who has, like I've been doing a lot of readings, we're going to feel this on a planetary level. We will also feel it on a uh, personal level, but particularly those people who are born on the first day of Aries, like yours truly, first day of Cancer, first day of Libra, and first day of Capricorn, you are in the crosshairs.
and why is that? Those four.
Because those are the four cardinal signs. And with this conjunction happening at 0 degrees Aries, if you were born on the first day of Aries, that conjunction's right on your sun in your
Mm,
birth chart. If you were born on the first day of Libra, it's directly opposing your sun. And
mm,
if you were either born on either the first day of Cancer or the first day of Capricorn, you have a 0 degree Cancer or 0 degree Capricorn sun, so you're squaring. It's just circle geometry, right?
um,
Um, and then there are also other signs that are going to be really supported by it. For example, people born on the first day of Leo and the first day of Sagittarius, you're also going to not so much be in the crosshairs, but you're going to be given a lot of support as well. At the end of the day, the assignment's the same. How do we dream the new dream? But first, before we do that, we've got to discard the old dream. And so, what the analogy I like to give is imagine a building that you've just kind of accepted. Like you bought a home, it's not what you want. It's on the piece of land you want though, but you could make it work. So you do your remodeling, you do your additions, and then the Neptunian flood comes in. And now guess what? You got to tear it down. You've been forced to tear it down now
mm,
because it's been contaminated
mold.
with all this floodwater. There's nothing you can do anymore. So now we got to demo and tear it down. But guess what? We now have a blank canvas to actually build our dream home.
Mm,
But this is where people struggle because we don't do well without clarity. Clarity is comfort. There's zero clarity when we look at a blank slate. Most people, when they look at a blank slate, they're terrified. They want to fill it with something. Can you please just put something there? Can somebody start it for me? Can somebody tell me what to do? And what's going to happen if you don't get comfortable with the
unknown.
discomfort of the unknown, you're not going to see the potential. And you're not going to see that this is actually an opportunity for you to actually finally have your say in how the new thing's going to be built. So,
Mm,
just like with that analogy, don't skip the part where you're dreaming and brainstorming and having that big think about how you want to draw up the blueprint.
mm. Well, and it's so interesting. So the way I'm kind of seeing it as you're talking is so many of us, I mean, this is just the way it is, right? We've been building on our parents'
Yeah.
dreams
Yes.
or You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? And
Yes.
all of a sudden, it's like, wait a minute, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
That's actually not my dream. I was
Right.
told it should be my dream,
Right. Right.
and it's not. And so here comes the flood, like you're saying, and then
You
well, shit,
demo and
if
you tear
that's
it down.
shit, if that's not my dream, then what is, right? Because yeah, the unknown can be very scary.
Terrifying. Very terrifying. But if you skip that step and you give up your chance to have a say in what the new blueprint looks like, you've completely skipped it because you were so attached to certainty and form that you went just straight
Safety,
to building. You just
safety.
straight to building, right? Right?
Yeah, but you can't build if you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think it's so like you're saying it's so hard for us, but it's so necessary that we have space
Hmm.
without
Yeah.
like we need space to let the new guidance come in.
Exactly. And we don't do well with that. First of all, we're just, as our species, we just like certainty. But in this modern capitalist culture, we don't do well with uncertainty. Like we just want to we like things to be linear. We like things to just build and build and build and be clear, and we want to accrue. We don't know what to do with emptiness. Right. And the visionaries are the one who are really, really comfortable with that place. If you actually like really deep dive into all the people who you might think might be like really um scions of capitalism, also knew how to hang in the uncertainty,
Mm,
you know? They knew how to hang in the uncertainty. They knew how to just hold their breath in there a little bit longer,
mm.
really see all the potential and really see what they were working with much more clearly and get a clearer lay of the land. So, this is the year where we're about to pull that trigger. So, we need to make sure we're aiming in the right place. Don't be in such a rush to pull that trigger
Well,
that you skip the step.
and I want to ask you too, is it fair to say that the life area that is going to get the trigger pulled, we want to go look at what house our Aries sign is in?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's actually um my
I
um
was going to ask you what house are you
roadmap.
in?
So my Aries, so for me, what I like to do is
Mhm.
I recommend everybody look at their actual sign, their sun sign. So for me, it would be about identity because Aries is my first house. But when I actually look at my chart, I'm a Leo rising,
Mm.
and Aries is in my ninth house of teaching and beliefs. And so um, I do have I know I'm kind of like jumping the gun a little bit right now, but my free gift is all about this.
Yeah.
So if
Awesome.
you don't know, you can totally just go download the free gift after the podcast, after we're done.
Yeah, I don't want to give you the
And
link now because then you'll be
yeah,
distracted.
yeah, and you can totally just go there and look up your sign and your rising sign, and I'll tell you what area of life you that this conjunction is going to affect, and also what the lesson is for you to learn.
Mm.
You know,
So we want to go look at sun sign. So even if
and
it's
rising
not
sign.
so and rising, so even if it's not in Aries, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
No,
matter.
it doesn't
We
matter. It's that
we've
it's
all got Aries somewhere in your chart.
got it. Yes.
And it doesn't matter if it's empty, if there's no house and no other planets in that sign, that area of your life is being activated by this conjunction.
So mine
And
would be Pisces is my sun,
yeah, Pisces is your
and
sun.
then Taurus is my rising. So those two areas are going to be the most impacted.
Yep. So for you, it's going to be um your 12th house and your second house. Because Pisces is second house, and Aries is Taurus's 12th house. And so the question for you is going to be about how do you align how you make your money, how you
Mm,
accrue a sense of worth, and how you
mhm,
align that with your spirituality.
mm. Okay. So I'm looking at I'm looking at my chart in the pattern app,
Hmm.
and it actually says my Pisces is 11 and
Okay.
my Taurus is 1.
Yep, because you're a Taurus rising.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that
Cool.
means that Aries is 12.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's how we tie in the theme of House 2 and House 12
Mm,
together for you. This is about how do you bring that revolutionary revisioning energy of making something that's more true, more meaningful, more
mm,
sustainable, and more fulfilling to those two areas of life,
mm.
your spirituality and your money.
I like that.
Is very on brand for what you do. It's very on brand for what you do.
And my new brand. Yes. Very even more.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
Cool.
when it comes to how we then navigate this energy, like, how can we work with this astrology in a way that, supports a sense of agency and self-trust, the most important thing is don't outsource your decision making to the external,
Mm. The
because this is,
chat GPT.
yeah, and use it wisely as well, because if you use chat wisely, it's really good at reflecting, right? But my favorite, I think for me, I love this one quote from Rainier Maria Rilke, and he was a poet, and he has this quote from his Letters to a Young Poet that so perfectly, in my opinion, sums up the best attitude to
Mm.
approach this year with and to approach this conjunction with. And so I'd love to read it for you.
Yes, please.
And it says, have patience with everything unresolved in your heart and try to love the questions themselves as if they were locked rooms or books written in a very foreign language. Don't search for the answers which could not be given to you now because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything, live the questions now. And then perhaps then someday in the far future, you will gradually, without even noticing it, live your way to the answer.
Wow, I love that. And I love it. I love it a lot because I just saw something, I don't know where, and it pretty much said the same thing. It said, don't go looking for the answers, be asking the questions.
And live the questions.
Yes.
Be engaged, be present. The questions are actually more powerful in this time than the answers. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but when you get like a real, true, clarifying, guiding question, that serves you better than getting an answer.
Mm, yeah.
When you really get really true about your priorities in life, and if you can just go, does this align? You can answer everything yourself. Right? So this is the key right now to navigating this Saturn Neptune transit. Find your guiding questions. Find the right questions.
Well, and I feel like too, there's this big, in order to do this, there is a huge needing of releasing this. I'm seeing like people pleasing,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And also the perfectionist. And also the perfectionist, right? Oh, I can't get it wrong.
right,
Or
right,
I got to do this thing. Wait, I can't build this because someone might get upset.
right,
So
right.
it feels like last year was like a big release of the superhuman, what I call pattern. And it feels like these other two are really big this year.
Really big this year. And just some suggestions, of the type of questions this Saturn Neptune conjunction may want you to ask is is this outdated? Is this really me? Where did I get this idea from? Where did I get these assumptions from? Where did I get this perspective from?
Mm.
you know, when you start talking yourself out of things, or especially when you start using the language of should and ought. Where did it come from? Was it really you? Or did you inherit it from your family, your parents, from society? I see this so much, especially with people who we're getting really, I'm not going to get political, but there there are a lot of people out there that really benefit from keeping us high strung and scared and outraged. And even there, it would really benefit us as we are trying to lean into being more humanitarian, wanting to fight for equity and equality, wanting to know how much of this is me
Mm.
and how much of this was planted in here by someone who maybe is really, by sources that are perhaps well meaning, but they do benefit from keeping us wanting to scroll and wanting to click and wanting to like and wanting to
Well,
share on the internet.
yeah, yeah, the fear. It's like
Yeah,
this, yeah, it's fear driven and distraction.
exactly. And so, how do we have a relationship with idealism? That's the Neptunian bit,
Mm.
while still having that clear eyed Saturnian grip on what's really happening. And also holding ourselves accountable,
Mm.
right? And so it's really interesting times, really interesting times that are coming up right now. But it also really is a real opportunity for us to really decide our futures. And so much of it is going to depend on how comfortable you are with uncertainty and how much you can live the question.
Mm. Yeah, I'm curious. I love this question. Is this really me? Outdated? Whose is this? And what other, it sounds like there's another question coming too. It feels that way. Is there another question related to that?
So a lot of that is these are questions that you really have to answer if
Mhm.
you really want to achieve that highest level of Neptunian idealism. Because the benefit that Saturn gives, how Saturn really helps Neptune, is Saturn is the big reality check. Neptune untethered can result in spiritual egotism,
Mm.
right? And when it comes to idealistic things, and humanitarian causes, ego lives there too,
Yeah. Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Right? And so the benefit of Saturn is okay, if we want to build a big, big dream, which is what we want to do when Saturn and Neptune comes together, Saturn wants you to build real foundations.
Oh, yes. It's about foundations,
Foundations.
structures, foundations, systems that are going to support bringing that dream to fruition.
Yep. And Saturn is very unforgiving when it comes to delusion and fantasy. So it actually corrects the trouble with Neptune. Neptune is very idealistic. It can get delusional though.
Yeah, it can ignore it can ignore the red flags. It can, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the fantasy, right? The fantasy.
yeah, exactly.
But
Exactly.
not the good fantasy. I mean, yes, we want to dream big, but yeah, the
Yeah,
fantasy as an example, right? I know a lot of my clients are in relationships where they've been holding on to this fantasy
yeah,
that someday, right? Someday, what, knight in shining armor, or the family's going to finally, open their arms and be like, we accept and love you for who you are. It's that kind of fantasy that's not helping us.
absolutely. 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 And if you want to really commit to a big vision and really bring about that truly fulfilled life, you do have to get a little, you need those Saturn like glasses that help you cut through the fantasy.
Hmm. So it's actually a good thing that they're together. Like, I know
It
some
makes
people be like,
sense.
"Oh, Saturn and Neptune," but it's actually like I feel like it's going to be quite productive.
And it's really great for people who want to really work on their mental health. It's also really great for people who want to really practice some real spirituality,
Mm,
you know.
I love that. So I know that we wanted to leave some time for questions. So I'm just going
Yeah,
to put that out here right now because we could go for hours
we
about.
totally could. I could talk to you forever.
Oh, I feel the same way. I feel the same way. So, yeah, I would love to give everyone that's here live today, if you have any questions for Alice regarding, if you want to give her your sun sign and your rising sign, what house numbers those are in, anything, you want to ask about anything Alice has brought up today, please feel free to either put it in the chat or you can raise your hand if you can find the reaction button. Um, Awesome. We've got a hand raised. Let's head over here. I'm going to go ahead and pin you, sweetie, and ask you to unmute.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh,
So my question is like, I'm from India and we also follow the Vedic astrology.
yeah.
So it's always like the sun sign is one sign before, I guess.
Before, yeah.
Yes. So according to Western astrology, my sun sign is in Taurus, but by Vedic astrology, it's in Aries.
Yes.
So everything, like the moon sign, the rising,
Everything shifts.
everything
Yep.
shifts. So how does it affect, like when does it does it mean, should I think in terms of Aries as my sun sign because of that, or Taurus as Western astrology and everything accordingly?
So, what's really interesting is I've had readings from really gifted tropical and sidereal astrologers who have really, they've really hit on my life in different ways. I personally vibe with the Western astrology more just because it's been more accurate in my life. And I'm a really big fan of kind of being a scientist that way. Like, don't wait for somebody to tell you, what do you feel? Do you feel like a Taurus or an Aries?
So, sorry,
What,
could
how
you?
do you feel? Do you feel more like a Taurus? Do you feel that's more accurate to you? Do you feel more like an Aries?
I don't know, like I mean, so well, how would you say like the are the characteristics of Aries compared to Taurus?
So Aries are more bold, more action oriented. They're more willing to take risks and start things. Taurus is really good for follow through, you know? Taurus, they're very, very good at following through on things, and they're very consistent. Not Taurus energy on its own. I'm I don't know the rest of your chart, but just that bit on its own, they are more security minded and they are more conservative when it comes to risk.
So this is pretty confusing. I would rather say like I'm a Leo rising and I feel more attuned to that. While some characteristics of Taurus like loyalty and also like the Venusian things,
Hmm.
I can tune
Yeah.
into that more. And Sagittarius is my moon sign. So
So you got a lot of
according to
fire. You
Western,
already have a lot of fire. You already have a lot of fire.
it's so
Is the
mixed.
Leo rising in the rising in your Vedic chart?
No, in Western
In the
astrology.
Western chart. So that would make you a Taurus, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're feeling, a real kinship to that fire energy, I would go with that one. I would
Yeah,
absolutely
and
go with
in also my personal life because Uranus was there and it really disrupted, like pulled
it
the rug
did.
under my
It did. It
feet.
did.
But then,
It
yeah, I
wrecked all you Tauruses.
everything, and my daughter, she's also a Taurus, so both of our lives. But I believe, like, although I went through a lot, but I kind of feel gratitude in a way, just like as you were explaining a little while back. I can so much resonate to that because like the way you are saying, talking about the house, like it's not very much what we are
Yeah.
tuned to, but we made adjustments and everything. That was how my life was. And right now I'm really like, it's really unclear, but I'm open for that because I know, like, if this is the kind of life I always dreamt of,
Yeah.
that that's the opportunity I have to reshape and like build it all fresh from
I
scratch.
love that. And
And,
the
and I had
beautiful
been
thing,
working for all that. I can see that coming through. I'm just being very much positive about that.
I really love that. The beautiful thing with Taurus, I'm not Taurus, Uranus transits, is its intention is to free you from stuff that just wasn't you, that you've been stuck around. And so that's why it feels so disruptive, because it frees us sometimes before we feel emotionally ready to be free from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing with a lot of Uranus transits is when you look back in your life, you will see that it was happening for you. And the good thing is with you being a Leo rising is that as Uranus moves into Gemini, it'll start sextiling your rising and it'll start working in your favor.
Yeah.
So
You can
you went through
combine
the
that.
hard part and then now you're going to reap the benefits.
Hope so.
But yeah, that's beautiful. If you're feeling a kinship to the fire energy, I would just go with that.
Thank you so much. And I believe your gift will also give an insight to how this transit will
Yes,
be.
yes, please download it.
Yes, please. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
I can drop it now
Yeah.
since we're done chit-chatting.
Beautiful.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
So let me drop that in the chat, everybody, and then those listening to the replay, it'll be underneath the video. Alice's free gift. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go ahead and unpin and pin Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Hi. Um, Tanya and Alice, thank you both so much. I'm having so much fun and I'm learning so much. And I'm getting really moved by the things that you're sharing. So thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, so I just wanted to play. I don't have a really clear question, but maybe it will crystallize.
Okay. Yeah.
And so Cancer Sun,
Okay.
um, Scorpio rising,
Okay.
Aries moon.
Okay.
Um,
So with what you have for the cancers, a lot of the revisioning work is going to be happening around career.
Oh, and Jen, I'm
yes,
looking at your chart. You have so many planets in your Cancer.
I
Really?
do. I do. And when you just said the thing around career, like I just got lit up. Like my
Yeah.
whole left side, left shoulder lit up in spirit bumps.
Wow. Wow. How's your health going?
My health is pretty good.
Okay.
I'd say that my work with Tanya has been, you know, a lot of the emotional and mental health.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I have been in hermit and I have had chronic fatigue
Yep.
um,
Yep.
for a couple of years now.
Okay.
Um, although I do feel like I'm making
Mm-hmm.
there's some movement there.
Okay. Tanya is Jen's moon in her sixth house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it
Okay.
is. Yes, it
Okay.
is. So in her Cancer ninth house, she's got Mars, Mercury,
Okay.
her sun, and I can't tell if it's right at the last degree, your Venus as well, Jen.
Okay. So we got a lot of energy there. We've got a lot of energy there.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And the sixth house is the moon, it's Chiron
okay, so
and
Chiron's on the
Saturn.
okay, so you have a lot of you're healing your um mind body spirit connection. That's a big part of it. All of the work that you're doing with Tanya with healing the emotional and mental aspect is very much a part of you healing your physical as well.
Okay,
Okay.
yes.
Your spirit body connection is such a big part of the hallmark of your chart. You know, all any sort of spiritual work you do benefits your health. And definitely during this time, when Neptune especially is going through your sixth house, expect, I'm not saying it will happen, but the chronic fatigue, mystery ailments, any sort of weird allergy, autoimmune stuff comes up, make sure you give yourself the permission to go seek second opinions, because Neptune's very confusing and you've got that confusing energy happening in your house of health right now.
Okay.
But what it means also, Neptune is so spiritual that your spiritual work is going to really benefit. So I never want to push religion on anybody, but this is a good time to really immerse yourself in more spiritual texts, more spiritual poetry, really get into that. And if your sun is in the ninth house, your Aries is the ninth house, it really aligns with a reexamination of your beliefs, right? And that's really going to show up in your work. So don't figure out this is the stuff that's got to come first before any clarity around what you want to do for work will appear.
Mm. Wow. So working through the sixth is going to get her what she wants in the ninth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't focus so hard on career and what am I supposed to do. Don't lead with that, because I'll be putting the cart in front of the horse.
Yeah.
So one step at a time.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and remove pin. There was a question in the chat.
Yes. So it looks like Tatiana.
Yep. Tatiana.
All right, Tatiana. So, Gemini Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio. So you've got a lot of Scorpio there. So with all that Scorpio energy, definitely the area of health, wellness. Do you know your Chinese zodiac sign? Just in case, Tatiana, if you do, go ahead and pop it in the reading in the chat. For you, it is okay, Rooster. Okay, so what you really need to do is let go of dead weight. This is very, very much in line with the Saturn Neptune conjunction. You know, that whole analogy we had about like not like just seeing what needs to get demoed and what needs to go, what structures aren't working anymore. That's a huge part of your theme, especially for roosters. Roosters really will benefit this year. You're going to have a good year if you can do that. Don't try to carry the dead weight with you. And don't be angry about it. Just be clear-eyed. You know, like I'm a rooster too. And for me, a lot of it's around friends and family. You know, like I made a conscious decision that I have friends that are really bad. For example, like with texting me back. I don't harass them, but I've just decided for myself that I show up in a way where you text me, you email me, I email you back, right? And that's just where I have decided to draw that line. And unfortunately, I have a lot of friends that I love so much that aren't going to get cut out, but going to get put in another category. So it doesn't have to be a huge shedding and getting rid of, but kind of take the trash out.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to say, like, when it comes to relationships, we have inner circle, and then we have ones that we move maybe to the next level out. Like you're saying, and I'm going through that too, Alice, where it's like people that aren't giving the same energy I'm giving.
Yeah.
I, I got to pull back my energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, no, you did not just see this text. And so, definitely tend to, especially, you know, stuff around your habits and your work habits and the work you do as well, what you're committing your daily effort to, really put that under the microscope and take a look at that. And if you're a Gemini, the next 7 years, at some point, Uranus is going to cross your sun. And when that happens, it can, I mean, we can actually, you know, ask Aparajita about this because Uranus crossed her sun, right? It's a real flipping of the switch. Everything you do right now to get more clear about what it is you truly want will set you up for a more productive Uranus transit, because Uranus only seeks to free you from what's inauthentic to you. So if you've been doing all this authenticity work, it's going to come by and just be like, oh, I don't need to do that much. And then Uranus transits, when it doesn't see the need to free you, it actually helps bring you opportunities instead. So your transits are lining up beautifully. Do the work now, have an easier time later. Okay?
So I have a question about the Uranus transits. What are you referring? I guess what are you referring to? What would we look at in our chart to know when that's happening for us?
If you have any placements in Gemini, you are in the direct line of fire
You mean this year?
over the next 7 years.
Over the next 7 years? Okay, I don't have anything in Gemini.
Yeah, so you're fine there. But then the other signs that are in the crosshairs, well, you do have some, in the crosshairs because you're a Pisces.
Oh wait, I was looking at Jen's chart.
Yeah.
Which one did you say?
Gemini. So
Gemini.
basically, the the
Oh,
Geminis and the Virgos and the Sagittariuses and the Pisces.
mm,
You're all going to get a hit of Uranus energy and
this year.
over the next seven
Over
years.
the next seven
Yeah.
years. Okay.
Uranus takes
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit longer.
I'm looking right now, and in Gemini, I have South Node.
Yes. So for you, it will be kind of like a check-in to see how are you doing with your cosmic homework.
In that house. In that
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah, house number two. There
So
was another question here.
So Margita had a quick question. Her Aries is the ninth house with Mars and Venus. So that just means that a lot of your revisioning has to do around your set of beliefs. Um, and when I say beliefs, I mean like the big beliefs, how you see the world, how you see yourself. Um, and if you have been wanting to go back into education to learn more, or if you're in education, that's going to be big for you as well. And if you have been, so for me, that's really landing really big for me. I've really resisted the call to step into teaching. And I've been, yeah, this is the year it's dragging me in.
How's that
It's
going for you?
dragging me in. Yeah.
I just want to add, like, your words are so much resonating, because right now I'm just about to finish a degree, an additional degree, and just had been into education, and again planning means
Yeah.
even applying, and a processing is going on.
Make
Going back into
sure
teaching.
you do everything I was saying about really putting it under the microscope, like putting your why. Why am I doing this? And really, really putting that under the microscope and making sure it's your why and not your family's why, not your parents' why. Huge for
Yeah,
you. Huge, huge, huge. Okay.
Mm.
right.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it's so making so much sense. Like, great. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Great questions. Great questions. All right. So I'm going to pop in the chat in case anyone missed it.
Mhm.
Alice's gift. And tell us again, Alice, what it's going to help us to do. You said it a little bit earlier, but
Yes.
that was, yeah.
So, really, since the big theme of the year is navigating the energy of this conjunction, and first off, I want to make sure everybody knows, don't freak out about the transits. Like, don't be like, oh my God, I have to do this. You don't have to do anything, okay? But it is an opportunity for you to really, really have like your say, really assert in your life. And this guide's going to tell you what your lesson is, because I really do believe that we are born as certain signs to learn. Like I'm an Aries, I came to learn courage,
Hmm.
right? So I actually blend that interpretation in with what lessons this Saturn Neptune work is wanting us to do, and where the target areas are. So you can have it kind of like a little mini guide as to, okay, this is the area where maybe I need to go put, my magnifying glass
Mm,
over
yeah.
there and really, really take a good hard look and read about what you came to learn.
Yeah, I mean, our souls, I absolutely, I believe the same thing, right? Like we didn't just randomly, yeah, it's there was a reason we came. There's a reason we came right now
Yeah,
that we chose to be here
yeah,
right now. Um, and I want to know what that is, right? It'll help us to better navigate, I feel, right?
yeah.
These are tools. These are tools. Yes.
Absolutely. And the guide also includes the link to your rising sign calculator. If you need that again, it's all right there. And just make sure you read for both your sun sign and your rising sign.
Awesome. Thank you so much for offering that, Alice. I downloaded it. I didn't get a chance to use it yet, but I'm going to do that after we're done today.
Hey, let me know what you think.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. And of course, if you want more from Alice, that link is going to, once you go there, you'll see her website and the other offerings she has as well. If you want a reading or yeah, whatever. Yeah, there's lots of good stuff there. You have a podcast too, right, Alice?
I do, I do, I
Yeah, I
do.
thought
And I
thought
have
I
a
saw that
blog
on.
as well. I'm probably a little bit more active on my blog.
Oh, good. Someone's already reading it. Yay.
Yay!
Wonderful. Any parting words for us before we close our circle today?
You know, for me, most of my client work, a really recurring pattern is releasing people from time pressure.
Mm,
So many times, if you really just took a step back, so many of our pressures to figure things out and to get things done is just pressure we put on ourselves because we're afraid that we're going to miss the boat. And it's not going to happen because it's our life, our rules, our pace. You guys are all
mm,
fine.
yeah. Thank you for adding that because I know at least the people I work with, like, yeah, we put so much pressure on ourselves to do it right. And if we don't get it all done today, I guess the world's gonna end, or we're gonna fail, or we're gonna miss the boat. And that's just not that's not true.
We're adults. We can do what we want.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We have to remind ourselves that, right?
Yeah,
Because so many of us are
yeah,
still under the guise of our inner children are running the show still. So yeah, taking that
right.
power back, I think that's part of the fire horse too this year. Is
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
is really yeah, being in that power, that fire, that soul power, I like to call it. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Alice. It
Thank
was a
you for
pleasure as
having me.
always. Yes, maybe we'll have to do this again mid-year. I'm sure there's more
Yeah.
things happening later in the year that are big as well. Even though this is kind of the one that's standing out in February. Um, and yeah, just so grateful that you're here and grateful for everyone that's listening
Yes.
to this or
Thanks for joining
yeah,
and thanks for your
yeah.
wonderful questions.
Yes, and please feel free to share this. So this will be up and the replay link, and I'll be sending that out. And if there's anyone you want to share this with, right, that you think would benefit, you're all leaders or you would not be here. So that's part of being a leader, right, is sharing things with others and then letting go, right? No expectation with what they do with it. All right. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, everybody. Happy 2026. This is a big year to make some big shifts. And I just want to remind everybody that we're supported to do this, right? No one is doing this alone. And so make sure that you're getting the support that you need. Because I'm not doing it alone either. And I know you're not either, Alice. So awesome. Love you all. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Care. Bye.
Namaste, everybody. Bye.